ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Friday spot here on Pagan Perspective, or at least that was what it was supposed to be. And I could have just, not posted a video and uploaded it to my own channel, but I actually really want to do this topic, especially since I kind of connect a lot with it. Sorry, I just got out of the shower, so I'm somewhat using you guys as a mirror. Anyway, so this week's topic is about Gothic people, Gothic things, Gothic, all things Gothic, and connecting them and connecting these things to the pagan community, and also to mention the disdain and resentment that seems to be prominent in the pagan community towards Goths. There's several reasons that I think that the pagan community doesn't necessarily get along with Goths as a whole. And I think that one of these reasons is because I remember whenever I was first becoming a witch, everyone assumed, oh, well, you're one of those crazy goth kids who, does witchcraft and summons the devil and wears black and stuff. People have such a just like a really warped view of reality, and they really, it's just astounding how much ignorance is out there. And I'm really not saying that to be rude, because as we all know, ignorance just simply means that you're not familiar with something, or you're not knowledgeable about something. It doesn't mean that you're being stupid. It means that you are unknowing, and things like that. So because of the stereotype that all Goths do witchcraft, or that all people who practice witchcraft are Gothic, I think that creates a lot of disdain in the pagan community for Goths. And so whenever it's like this thing that they are fighting, this has happened in several different groups or communities or whatever I've been in. I used to do magic tricks, like illusions, and I would go do magic shows and perform with my dad and stuff. Me and him were like a father-son magician team, and we would go do magic tricks and with these different people who were also party entertainers, like kids clowns and other magicians and stuff like that, other party entertainers. And anyway, there was also this stereotype in that group even, and everyone was like, no, it's not really demonic, it's not really of the devil, it's not real witchcraft, and blah blah. And so then you go to the witchcraft community and you notice, no, it's not really demonic, it's not really of the devil, it's just witchcraft, blah blah blah. And whenever people connect witchcraft to all these dark things, people try to push so hard against it, people who aren't dark, try to push so hard against it that they will completely reject sometimes anyone else who is considered like dark or Gothic or whatever. And so I think that is one reason. Another reason, I think, is because since we Goths are into... Sorry, the camera's shaky. I'm balancing it on my leg. But since we Goths are into things that are considered creepy, taboo, or strange, at least some of us, a lot of people don't necessarily take Goths too seriously whenever they try to step their foot into the pagan community. And I would just like to stress that just because, although I don't do witchcraft to appear creepy or menacing or taboo even, or strange, I literally just do witchcraft because now that I have learned about it, it's almost like I can't go back. I would be denying life, and I would be denying what I have already discovered to exist in a very real way if I were to not do witchcraft. And witchcraft to me is just a part of life. Witchcraft is a very neutral thing, and people need to realize this. And when I say neutral, this is something that is usually mentioned by, I'll call them light bearers, like people who almost lean more towards the light, I guess. Like, think of me except an opposite. And but people like that, you usually hear them say, well, witchcraft isn't black or white, and they'll try to say that in defense of don't think it's evil. Um, but I'm also, on the flip side of the coin, trying to say don't think it's necessarily good either, because witchcraft is just a tool. It's like if I picked up a hammer and I said this tool is an evil thing and it should be destroyed and it should never be used. Um, and so anyway, I'm not sure where the creepiness factor comes into, but anyway, I still wanted to touch on the creepiness factor. Just because someone does something because they find it creepy or taboo or dark or menacing or scary or something like that, the majority of the time, of course, they are not going to be taking it seriously or actually doing it to enlighten themselves, but that is not always the case. For example, I mess with the Necronomicon mythos and H.P. Lovecraft's mythos for multiple different reasons. And one of them, a smidge little reason, is, of course, like I'm not going to lie, is that it is dark, it is menacing, it is strange, and that allures me in some way or another. And so just because somebody follows something or does something because it is dark or taboo does not necessarily mean their intentions are not true. Another example: I wear black, I wear skulls, I wear fangs, and all these other stuff that people would often view me as being fake. But just because I wear these things and they are typically stereotyped into people who are kind of fake, doesn't necessarily mean that these actions or personas that I adopt are not my true self. Like, I very much feel like I am just myself. I don't even really like calling myself goth because so many people in the community are like, you're not goth because you don't wear this, 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 and this, and this, and you don't listen to this band, and this band, and this band, and you don't do this, 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 or this. To me, being goth is a connection to the darker side of life. It's a connection to death. It's a romantic obsession with death. It's an understanding of death. It's trying to mold with death so that you can better understand it. It's trying to mold with the darker sides to life that we live in so that you can better understand it. And to me, that's what Gothic is, and that's what being goth is. It's not necessarily a clothing style. It's a philosophy or an ideal, and like an ideal state to be in if someone is trying to get over certain things in their life. And I feel like that's another reason that pagans seem almost turned off by us, is because Goths are a lot of times dictated as being very sad or very dark and not too cheerful. I think not all Goths, but a lot of Goths use our outlook and our interest and different things like that, like I just said, to better make ourselves accustomed to our environment that we live in, i.e. a depressing, dark world. And so for some of us it just really helps, and others of us this is just who we are. And I really wish that the pagan community would quit being so turned off by Goths, because it's kind of like whenever gay men really, really hate any gay person who fits the stereotype. And that annoys me more than anything else, because you're not doing any good. People will yell at me often in many communities that I attend, like the vampire community, the witch community, the pagan community, because I fit the stereotype of a lot of things. And that pisses people off, because I am perpetuating this stereotypical idea and helping people think that everyone else who does what I do is exactly like I am. And I just really wish the pagan community could kind of shake themselves awake and realize that stereotypes are sometimes stereotypes for a reason, and it's not necessarily bad if somebody fits a stereotype, and that doesn't necessarily make them any less legit or real than somebody who doesn't fit a stereotype. And another last note before I turn this off, because it's hitting the 10-minute mark and over, but I'm not even sure why so many people find it their life's mission to discover if somebody is legit or not when it comes to their spiritual belief or their practice or things like that. Like, I understand doing it on a personal level to, you know, allow yourself to know if you want to take to heart what this person is going to say from now on. But on a level to where you're like, no, that person's stupid, don't talk to them. And like, you try to get everybody else to not talk to them, or you actively go out of your way to push them out or be cruel to them or tell them, no, you're not the real thing, I am. I find that very odd and a waste of time. And it's something that's very annoying, and I wish the pagan community, again, would quit it. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble about gothic-y things, and darkest blessings to you all.